Jar Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jar Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jar Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jar Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jar Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jar Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jar Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
Santa Yalla.
Nga xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokk dara.
Africa is rising and business knows no borders. With Bloombank and PAPS, buying and selling across Africa is now effortless. Fast, secure, direct from your Bloombank account. One Africa, one connection, one heartbeat of opportunity, powered by Bloombank Africa. Bloombank Africa, in partnership with PAPS, connecting Africa, empowering you. Bloombank Africa, we make it happen.
It's Tuesday, the 28th of April, 2026, and you're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. Text messages have already started coming in anticipation of my conversation with Dr. Ceesay for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. And Dr. Ceesay this morning joins us fresh from the inauguration of a fact-checking center as we move ever closer to the elections in 2026. This center will make sure that misinformation and disinformation do not continue to prevail. It marks a bold step in safeguarding truth and transparency, as you know, the marketers of the center tell us. But beyond this milestone, Dr. Ceesay will also hopefully deal with the issue of a state reporter sudden resigning, alleging pressure from the authorities after he attended an event at which a political opponent of the authorities, that be, was the main invited guest. We'll also talk about the difficulties the ministry and Pura are experiencing with the body of journalists in this country, and that is the Gambia Press Union. Looks like a lot to talk about this morning. You have all these to go through.
Not only
updates. So let's start with the updates before we come to
good morning
the other
and
matters.
Thank you, Peter. The first update is from the Office of the President. The public is informed, and I think they should know by now, that the President, His Excellency, commissioned the 91-kilometer Kiang West roads project in Lower River region last Saturday in Jafaro.
There's a video shared with me from that about speeches there, and the last time you sat here, you talked about the need to tone down the political rhetoric,
of course,
and all of that. But this was not part of toning down the political rhetoric. I'll let you go through it.
So this road is a long awaited road. The people of Kiang have called
91 kilometers, is it?
Yes, they've called for, cried for, demanded.
This is from where to where?
It's from Sankandi all the way to, it snakes into different communities. Snakes into Jali, snakes into, I think, Keneba or Kemoto, if I'm not correct.
So it
into
snakes its
Tankula.
way around.
But initially, it wasn't supposed to be 91. But then later, when communities started to request, they start to snake into these communities that are off the road. That takes it to 91. Yeah. But it starts from Sankande on the main road. 91 is I have used that road before. In fact, I remember when we were campaigning with Rafi, we had a puncture there. We had to spend the night there because that road was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. And it's a critical infrastructure. It's a critical road because it connects many communities. Communities like from Sankande, Jifarong, Keneba, Joli, Jali, Kemoto, Kantong Kunda. And this was a serious infrastructure gap in that area. I think it's an important...
The Kiangs have been, neglected for
exactly. And that is why, and if you listen to the president's speech, he said, I have done what I'm supposed to do in this region. He built them a brand new hospital in Jali, state-of-the-art hospital. He built them the 91-kilometer road, which they've been crying for over 50 years. They could not get it. Now it's built. He's built them a new mini stadium, like a football field. Oh. And also he's built them some schools as well, classrooms as well. And also, what else? There was something else. But what I just want to say is that with the president, there are no boundaries for his development. He brings it where it is needed.
No one left behind.
No one is left behind. And in this case, the people of Kiang, the people of Lower River region, particularly Kiang West, even though he doesn't win in Kiang West, yet for him it doesn't matter.
Is that why he's putting extra efforts in there?
No, not necessarily. No, I mean, if you look at... No, what I'm saying is that if that was the case, he would go to places that had a higher... where the voting population is huge.
He has those in the bag already, so he's going for those.
But West Coast region is huge, but investments that has been done in Kiang West really are huge, 91 kilometers, just like in Hakalang. So the president is looking. He's not doing this for politics. The president is doing this for development. He believes that the people of Kiang West deserve to live in dignity. That is why he brings them.
He wasn't doing it for politics. Why would he allow political speeches? Where people are being reminded that irrespective of what the government has done for them so far, they still don't support this government, and people of a certain ethnic group should wake up and stop living in the past and move ahead with the times.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I listened to the president's speech, and for me, it's the president's speech that I listened to. That is what is important to me.
And
the president never...
What others say doesn't matter.
The president never made such comments.
I didn't say it was...
That's what I'm saying. So for me, I'm here to talk about government policy and what the president is doing, what the president is saying.
Even if, this was said by somebody in our National Assembly?
Yes, but then that person should take responsibility. People should hold that person responsible for his or her words. Like I said, the president cannot control who says what in a platform, because what you are going to see is not discussed a priori with the president. Okay. So president can do nothing about that. The president can deal with the situation behind the scene if he wishes, but these things are things that happen in political platforms. So what I'm just trying to say is that in this case, the president has really invested in transformative infrastructure in Lower River region, and this was inaugurated last Saturday from 91 kilometers of roads in Kiang. These Kiang West roads, I know, I have lived it, I have used them. I know what it meant to the people of Kiang. I've taught Kiang many villages many years ago, and every village you go to, all they'll tell you, Nanyin Silo, Alendeman Nanyin Silo, Nanyin Silo, Nanyin Silo. This road is fixed.
Okay. So if 3 roads in Brufut, elevates Brufut to Dubai level, 91 kilometers in Kiang would elevate Kiang to?
Well, to Kiang. To Kiang, because Kiang itself deserves to be recognized as Kiang. Okay. Kiang doesn't have to emulate any... but it's important that the president really has invested in this. And this, for me, matches what he did in Hakalang. And remember also, it cost this road cost $1.2 billion. All locally sourced. No grant, no loan, no nothing.
Yeah, we have GRA.
All taxpayers' money used to provide a facility for taxpayers. And speaker after speaker after speaker in that event talked about the dark days when they were using these roads and what it meant for them. in terms of communicating, in terms of access to markets. They said that if they had caught their fish from the river before they reached Sankandi on the main road,
everything is rotten.
Yes, but now it's quick. Not only that, the president has provided GTSC boat service as well for them. But someone also warned them that when they get into the boat, they should not remove their shoes. People of Kiang normally remove their shoes when they enter the boat. So yes, like I said, this is good. But remember also, it's not from Sankani to the point to point. It also snakes into different. That makes it 91. It snakes into in Jali, Keneba, and all. And
connects the areas even more.
Of course, it's an important road network. Now, apart from that, I think the other one which I think is important for public consumption, even though I know the Ministry of Information,
your fact-checking center,
has launched the National Misinformation and Disinformation Response Center. This is a strategic platform to verify information. It's very simple and counter false content. Supported by ECOWAS, I, as a minister, like I said here the last time, my job is to find solutions to problems. Not only today's problems, but I can also anticipate problems and find solutions for them now. I don't have to wait until they occur. And I saw that now there's a problem. Deepfakes, manipulated content, and AI-generated content. What does that mean? It means today, anybody can portray Peter Gomez in a manner in which it is undesirable, that will question Peter's dignity and integrity and make him and insult his person. How do we respond to that if that happens? And that's what's happening now. People create nude videos of people, which is false, and many people think it's true. People can manipulate voice. Make Peter sit on West Coast Radio.
The singer Taylor Swift has just moved to ensure that AI doesn't clone her voice and use it in whatever way.
So anybody can create an AI manipulated content of you, Peter, sitting in this very studio, insulting not Adam Barrow, insulting a particular religion. And before you leave the studio, yes, they'll burn this place.
That's right. I agree. I agree entirely.
I don't know if you understand my point.
I do understand it, yes.
Because the people, before they realize this is AI-generated content, all they will see is the reliance. They'll see you with this. Yes. They'll see your specs, yes, your watch. Yes. Everything is perfect. Yes. Even your voice. Even your microphones and your laptop. They don't know it's AI-generated content.
True.
Now, this system helps every Gambian, not only government officials, even you, journalists, even citizens, to go into factguard.gov.gm and enter any content there, whether written content, voice or video, and ask, is this AI generated or not? Is this manipulated or not? It will tell you in real time.
And that's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do.
Take us through the process again.
Now, for example, I'll give you let me give you an example. Yeah. We have a WhatsApp. It has a WhatsApp number. Yeah? NM.
The center.
It's called the Gambia NMD. It's a number.
Yes.
The number is 9728100. If you have this number,
yes,
ask this, for example, when I entered this content.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give you an example. 2 examples. Okay, this video.
Okay.
This photo.
Yes.
Was shared by the UDP as NPP registering children at registration centers.
Yes.
This picture was shared,
yes,
as one of the pictures. When I send this, I said, is this photo new?
Mm-hmm.
You see it. It said, please wait while we process your request. It says, no. According to the Standards 21st April report,
mm-hmm,
the portraits on show were actually created during Enora Lanet's month-long residency at Alliance Francis, the Bandit, in February 2025.
Oh, wow.
So it tells you exactly.
This is presented as a young boy, an underage, a
who's
minor,
registering now,
lining up in April 2026
yes,
to acquire a Gambian voter's
yes,
card.
Okay, I'll give you another example. Look at this AI-generated content. Oh, not this one.
If you try to arrest Yahya Jammeh, the Americans are going to come after you. They'll watch you. They'll arrest you.
Okay, when I asked this AI tool, is this well, you know what? It said this video is AI generated.
Yes, of course.
So obviously anybody can use this. But what I'm saying,
that is supposed to be Trump threatening
Barrow.
Threatening Barrow.
Exactly. What I'm saying, me and you will know. Yeah. But there are people who see everything they see online, they believe it. Yeah. They don't know about AI and AI generated content. So what this tool does is anybody can go in and... So if you go to FactGuard, for example, the website, which is called FactGuard.
FactGuard.
Yes.
Fact, F-A-C-T, guard, G-U-A-R-D.
FactGuard.gov.gm.
Okay.
So if you go to that platform, it gives you many options to do there. You can ask, it says verify information.
Okay.
Report misinformation.
Okay.
When you see misinformation, you can also report it.
And track your case.
And also track your case.
Okay. So what's track your case?
It's if you report misinformation, that's a case you want to know exactly how far somebody has to see
they're working.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what this does is anybody can use this. It's a platform. So when I looked at that, there's a problem. Before, because I came across a TikTok video, a QTV news presenter, the backdrop QTV, everything looks perfect. It is saying the Gambia government has banned the use of makeup in the Gambia for women. And it looked exactly like 8 o'clock QTV news. I'm like, what automated system is there to flag this as false? It doesn't exist. So I wrote a concept note together with Amran and sent it to ECOWAS. And the moment the ECOWAS chairperson in the Gambian saw my concept note, he said, ECOWAS believes that one of the driving impetus for insecurity in this Sahel and West Africa is this information. We are funding this. Straight away, they funded
to
it.
the tune of
$50,000.
Okay.
In fact, for this system to be built, it's because Amran is a Gambian. If we are going for a outside that's to build this, they were going to ask us millions of dollars. But Amran is a Gambian. We spoke to him. He said, look, this is expensive, but I'm going to build it because this is good for Gambia. And he helped us build this system for anybody to use. It's not for Dr. Ceesay to use. I leave this post. This system will continue to help people.
But most of the misinformation and videos and all of that are usually against your government. So that is why probably you prioritize this. All right.
No, but anybody can fall victim of manipulated content.
True.
So we need to separate opinion and disinformation and misinformation. Most opinions are against our government. These are opinion. You cannot flag an opinion as false. Opinion is an opinion. What we are doing here is that using AI to counter something that AI amplifies and AI generates. It's very simple. So that when a dangerous hate speech or disinformation is generated, before it goes viral, we'll detect it early. What goes viral is showing people that this is disinformation, disregard it. That's what will go viral. That's why we are going to have a 24-hour system, people to man this so-called observatory, to be scanning always disinformation. We are not interested in policing opinions or sense of people. No, it's about making sure that at least there are certain dangerous false information, disinformation that we need to really deal with as a country because it's very dangerous for our stability.
Any more updates?
Now, on a final note, I think this one is really important for...
Yeah, take your time. We like updates.
For the Gambians living in Spain. The Ministry of Interior, through the Gambia Immigration Department, has deployed a mobile biometric passport enrollment team to Spain and Italy. From yesterday, 27 April, they'll be there until 12 May to facilitate passport applications and regularization for Gambians in the diaspora. The exercise conducted at designated locations requires non-refundable fee of €120 for the passport, payable through official channels, and is aimed at improving access to travel documentation. What is the backdrop to this is that the Spanish government has announced that they are going to regularize the immigration status of 500,000 Africans in Spain.
Yes.
And because of that, there are Gambians who need passports for them to be able to benefit from this. That is why the Gambia government is employing a team to Spain and Italy to help them get these passports.
Fantastic. Speaking of passports and national documents, a complaint. Hello, Uncle Peter. I deposited my ID card payment on September 16th. Up to last week, it's not ready.
So
September
this
of
is
last year.
Yes, this is an undesirable situation that the government is aware of, and we're doing everything possible to resolve it. Now, remember that two things. To make sure that every Gambian has an ID card easy, the Gambia government has gone into a concession with margins. Currently, there are margins. It's a Ghanaian company that made the Ghana card. For every Ghanaian has almost 90-something% Ghana now have ID cards easy. That process is ongoing. They are currently doing their studies. Very soon they'll come and deploy the system and give ID cards for every Gambian. We've already discussed about that. The price will not change. If you have an existing ID card, you will not even pay. They'll just replace it for you. That is ongoing. For now, there are hiccups and challenges we are facing. Because why?
It's good to accept that problems exist.
Of course, yes. See, we cannot say that our government is challenge free. We'll be lying to the Gambian people.
Okay.
Now, when the last concession ended with what was the name again? Semlex.
Yes.
There was a gap. It means that the immigration themselves now print ID cards. And the consumables needed to print these ID cards are not made in the Gambia. You have to order them from abroad. And the demand for ID cards sometimes far surpasses what is available. So sometimes before the consumables come, we don't control logistics and the supply chain logic. We don't control it. You can order it today. Expect it's coming in 7 days. It comes in 3 weeks. Yeah. And so when it comes,
or a war flares up in the region, and then
exactly.
Can't get through.
But we are doing everything possible to make sure that we give ID cards. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it can take some time now. But this is just a short period. We want Gambians to really be patient with the government on this particular issue. And very soon, once the margin starts operating, ID cards would not be an issue anymore in this country, because every Gambian will be given an ID card. Will deploy people across the country to give every Gambian an ID card, not only physical ID card but also digital IDs as well. So, but for now, supply chain for the consumer that are coming to make these ID cards, but also demand far out, because everybody's looking for ID card, and the demand really is really high. So these are challenges that we are facing. But I heard also my brother saying that the reason why it's easy to get
the voters
cards.
In fact, it's free.
Yeah, but listen, the laws that govern the issuance of voters' cards is totally different from ID cards. The institutions are totally different. Voters' cards are issued by the IEC in line with the electoral laws. And government has nothing to do with that, because IEC is an independent institution. Government cannot be involved with IEC, because then it's the referee. They issue voters' cards based on their own timing, based on their own laws. We don't get involved in that. So you cannot compare ID cards and also voters' cards. There's a window for voters' cards. That is, every 5 years, every 10 years comprehensive registration, every 5 years they do what they call supplementary. So therefore the logistics is different. They can plan for it, because they don't have to give voters cards for 4 years. For 4 years they're not giving voters cards. They can prepare the logistics for that. ID cards, every day people are requesting for ID cards. There are different laws governing ID cards. So we cannot compare these two.
Apples and oranges.
Exactly.
Give us an update, speaking of updates, on your promise last week to invite the GPU leadership or GPU representatives to talks.
Yeah, we've done that. We are meeting today at 10 o'clock. The Bar Association is offering to mediate between the two parties.
Oh, fantastic.
And for us, like I said, Peter, we should even have reached this stage. There shouldn't even be a third party not to mediate this. This was an easy thing. What is that? Government makes regulations. We make a draft regulation. Here is the draft. Read it. Tell us what your thoughts are. Had that happened, we wouldn't find our way here. But because of that didn't happen, that is why there was an impasse. But I wasn't even supposed to have an impasse. When the Bar Association came to see me to say we are here to make peace, I said to make peace where there was no war.
Come on, there was war.
No, what I'm saying is that we could have avoided this situation.
Yeah.
Because government makes regulation. And the regulation is only a proposal. It's only a proposal. It doesn't mean that the proposal has to go through. Because when you make a regulation, it's for your stakeholders. It's for the public. It's for those who will use the regulation. You will enforce the regulation. So you need their buy-in. When we make and give it to them to say, hey, here's the regulation. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what is problematic. If that had been done at that stage, we would know exactly X, Y, Z are problematic. How do we tweak it? How do we amend it? How do we change the language so it's not subject to abuse? And so on and so on. They would have found a way. But that didn't happen. But anyway, things happen for a reason. It has happened. You don't cry over spilled milk. Yeah. The Bar Association are generously intervened to negotiate between the two parties. Good. We are meeting today at 10 a.m.
Fantastic. Oh, wow. Then we can't keep you here beyond 10 a.m. Okay, so who's coming? The president? Who is coming from the GPU?
GPU is coming. I think it should be the president. I'll be there myself. Pira will be there.
Okay.
Bar Association will be there. Goma, the online online media
That
association.
is Yusuf Taylor.
The NEPA, Newspaper Publishers Association, and the Broadcasting Association.
It should be a very good...
I mean, for me, it's an easy thing. I just want to know exactly. I mean, till today, I don't know exactly which part of regulation there's a problem with. I don't know. That's what I want to know.
Oh, no, come on. They came out with a long press release, highlighting their worries and why it is a worry. You should have
no. What I'm saying is that highlighting worries of a regulation and pointing
they have
particular section.
They have highlighted particular, sections of the regulations or policy.
They're still not clear to me.
Yeah?
But today we'll clear. That's why it's good we have this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
GRTS, there's a high-profile resignation at GRTS. Can you...
Well, like I said, people are free to choose any entity they want to work for, and people are free to resign if they so wish. It's a free world.
But it depends on the circumstances, leading to
what I'm saying, the circumstances...
He is a journalist who was, the office of the vice president is literally in State House, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? So he was waking up, going to State House every day, doing his work, was regarded a senior member of staff, attends a function, I understand, was taking place where he was born. I mean, if something is happening in Banjul, number 2 Charles Street, whether it's organized by the opposition or whatever, and I am invited, that
is not how it works.
Then he was supposed to travel with the president, his passport was seized.
That is not what happened.
So what happened?
He is from that village. And he leads a fundraising committee of that village to raise funds for that village, and they organize an activity. In that activity, they look for people who could really support in that fundraising, people who could support financially. And they invited 3 dignitaries. Sidi Njaya was one of them. Honorable Sidi S.K. Njaya was invited to the event. But also the Lord Mayor was also invited to that event. That is one thing. That should be clear. It's not like he was invited to one event and he attended. No. He is one who hears, according to my understanding. Let me just make that clear. That's my understanding.
This is the journalist you mean?
Yes.
Omar P. Jallo.
He is from that village. They have a committee called the fundraising committee. They do every year to raise funds for development of the village. So every year they invite dignitaries, people who they believe can support financially to their fundraising. They don't. So they, according to what I understand, that's based on what I understand. They invited dignitaries. The rest is history now. When it comes to his resignation and the circumstances surrounding his resignation, I'm not directly involved. What I know is that I've heard 2 stories. I don't know which to believe. That is why I cannot speak on it. The first story is that he organized and invited the Lord Mayor. And then when that happened, the government wasn't happy. They seized his passport, and the SIS interrogated him. That was the first story. He himself came out to say that is not true. No, his passport was not confiscated, but also he wasn't called by the SIS. He himself came out and made that statement and debunked that story. He himself did that.
What if I told you
and I'm coming,
that after giving his resignation, he told...
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm telling you what happened a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So he came out and debunked it.
He came out and debunked that his passport was never confiscated. In fact, it cannot be confiscated because officials of that level, they don't keep their service passports. When they travel, when they come back, the service passport...
this was a service passport?
Yes.
It was not
It's a service passport.
Okay.
When they come back, they take the service passports from all of them and they keep it at a safe place. Until when they travel again, they give them the visas and they go. So it can be confiscated. He also debunked that he wasn't interrogated by the SIS. He debunked it. In fact, when I saw the news, I was away. I remember I was at an airport. I was on transit. I called him directly to say, what happened?
Oh.
And he himself told me that this is what has happened. I said, okay, thank you. That's why I stayed away from because it's an operational issue. It's not my issue. So I don't deal with those operational issues. But just telling you the 2 stories. Then now, yesterday, a different story emerged from the same guy who said, no, the first story was done under duress. Now, this is the true story. So I don't know which one to believe, Peter, to be honest. I don't know. But what is the bottom line is, whatever has happened, transpired, I'm not interested. Because it's not my domain, it's not my job, it's an operational issue. What is the bottom? He has resigned, and that's your question. I think it is right. If he feels that he doesn't want to work for the state broadcast anymore, it's his right to resign. He was at QTV before, he resigned and came to GRTS. He can resign from and go anywhere else. So it's not a big issue, it's not a big deal.
Is it the position of the government that whoever is working in government should not be involved with members of the opposition?
But did that happen? Is that the case in this matter?
Well, apparently that seems, the presence of Talib Ahmed Bensouda seems to be the problem.
But that is the story we're hearing.
Yes.
That is not the story
That's
we're
hearing. That's not the story you're hearing?
From government.
Of course you won't hear that story from government.
But of course, what would you hear from the opposition?
Huh?
What would you hear from the opposition? Who's right in this case?
No, I'm saying, is it the position of this government, the government that you belong to, that whoever is working for the government,
it is not the position. It's the position of the law, the general orders, that if you are a civil servant, you must not openly engage in partisan politics. It is the law. It's not the government. Any government that comes in front of it's the GOs.
How was he engaged in open partisan
politics? No. I'm answering your question. What he did, I cannot speak. I don't know what he did. Like I said, I'm not speaking in specific terms of his case. Your question is it the position of this government?
Yes.
That anybody who is
working for government,
yes,
should have nothing to do with the opposition?
That's what I'm telling you. To answer your question is that it is the position of the general orders of the law of the Republic of the Gambia that anybody who is a civil servant should not openly engage in partisan politics, whether opposition or not.
But it's what, being involved with the opposition does not necessarily mean that you are involved with openly in partisan politics.
That's what I'm telling you. That I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
Whether openly or not, the GOs are very clear that if you work for the government as a civil servant, you must not align with any political party openly. Now, his particular case, I'm not responsible because, like I said, I'm not involved in that case. I'm hearing two stories from himself, two different stories. So I don't want to go into that. So because of that, there is some kind of ambiguity in the case, and I don't want to comment on his particular case. But just to respond to your question, for the purpose of the public is that anybody who is a civil servant and works for government should not, according to the GOs, this is not the government of the present government. No, this is a law that the GOs and that you must not engage in partisan politics openly.
Let's say a government-funded health center was fundraising in order to, supplement whatever amount it has to either expand or buy new equipment, and they invited members of the public. All right? Peter Gomez comes in as head of the Peter Gomez group against, the third term bid of Adama Barrow. So I come in and say, well, can I go to that? Should I be allowed?
Yeah, a citizen, of course. That is why I'm saying that.
Is Talib not a citizen?
No, what I'm saying is that you are going from the presumption that what is being reported is what has happened. I'm going from the presumption that I don't know what has happened. What I'm telling you is that under normal circumstances, every citizen, whether you're in opposition or in government, you have a right to take part in public events and public activities with no consequences whatsoever. Now, in this particular case, that is why I want to be cautious in this particular case, because I'm hearing different stories and I don't know which story to believe in. Now, he is saying that he is being moved from the OP because of that particular incident. But the OP has from the OVP, but that is not the case. According to so who do we believe in? Whose story do we believe in? Now, one thing I can assure you is that the government of Adama Barrow will not and will never, and has no intention to punish public officials because of their political allegiance. We have people in the system who have openly shown their political allegiance, yet they are in the system. So this is not a government of retribution.
After what you just said,
it's not a vindictive
I'm finding
government.
that very hard to believe.
No. It's not a vindictive government. It's not a vindictive government at all.
No, that you have people in government who have been openly opposing to the government, that they're still maintaining their position.
What I'm saying is, as long as it's not blatant in a manner in which you violate the laws of the country, the GOs are very clear. Everybody has a right to a political affiliation. You cannot expect everyone to support the government. There are people in government who don't support government. That's their right. It's a fundamental right as citizen. Right,
why is he being persecuted then?
Who is saying that he's being persecuted? He's not being forced to resign. This what happened, like I said, he was moved from OVP back to the GRTS, just like he was moved from GRTS to OVP. And strategically, like it's an operational issue, I don't get involved. The GRTS can, what I'm saying is that the GRTS can, for strategic efficiency, move about their staff from one place to the other. That is GRTS. Now, what I'm trying to, I don't want to comment more on this particular case because I'm not involved in it.
Okay.
And I've been hearing different stories. I don't want to, because the story I first received was that he himself confirmed was that all the allegations about passport confiscation and interrogation by the SI were false. He himself said it.
Okay.
If he now comes out and says a different story, that just baffles me and gets me more confused. I don't want to get involved.
We'll try to get him on.
But what is clear is that the GOs are clear. No public, no civil servant should openly engage in partisan politics.
And you think he was engaging?
I'm not saying that. I'm speaking in general terms. I'm not in specific terms.
Let's take something from the audience. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Please tell Doc, we the residents of Yuna have suffered and continue suffering due to an incomplete road. This road has long been overdue. Construction has been very slow. The workers will do a small job, block the roads and disappear. If they can't complete it, please, they should allow drivers to at least use the main road. We deserve better. Yuna.
I myself will have an issue with Ibrahim Silla for this because Yuna is a place I love and I like to go to. I'll have to confront Ibrahim Silla for this after this program that he must do something to fast track this situation in Yuna because
but you know about this Yuna road and the problems there.
You've been raised here many times and I don't know what's happening, but I'll ask Ibrahim Silla to give us more information on this, and by next week I'll update the public on the situation on that particular road.
Boubacar Sano thinks you are trying to link fundraising with political events, and he says this is not a political meeting or rally. We all know where they're heading to.
No. But if you listen to me, I'm not trying to link anything. I'm trying to separate two key issues here. The specific case that happened, that said, I'm cautious there because I've had two different stories. I don't want to go into it. I'm also speaking in general terms about what the law says. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not trying to link anything. If you listen to me very carefully.
Okay.
Sano got that wrong.
Yeah, Sano. Well, that's the
My
minister's response to you. This one says, Sirinja is becoming too involved in many issues these days. He is the one who wants to set Gambia on fire. Do you agree?
No response.
No response?
No.
To that?
No.
All right. Anything else? It's, 9:53? You have
except if you have any more questions, I'll be very happy to answer the questions from the public. If you have more questions.
Let me check the WhatsApp. Sometimes, I focus too much on, WhatsApp, something on WhatsApp. Please, your guest is not being truthful. He knows the full story of Omar P. Bojang. In the presence of my staff, he called Omar and asked whether what I was seeing and hearing on social media was true. He also asked Omar to write and explain what had happened. Omar then sent him an audio recording while I was present. This was even before Omar said the story is false.
But that's what I'm saying.
Somebody privy to...
No. What I said, when I was on transit, I called Omar to ask him what happened. And he told me what happened. After that, I did not get involved. I said that very clearly. I called Omar. When I saw the news trending online when I was traveling, the first it came out that Omar was being interrogated by SIS, but also his pass confiscated. I want to know what happened. Because, after all, I'm the minister responsible for GRTS. If one of my staffs...
Why did he have to write to you rather than to the Director General?
No, he did not write to me.
But that's what the text is suggesting.
No. I told Omar that the story he said on the phone, because I was on transit.
Yes.
I said, can you send me an audio so I can listen to this and understand? Because he was speaking fast and network wasn't good. I said, can you send me an audio so I understand the context? He sent me an audio for me to understand the context. And that was it. I didn't get involved after that. What we did also as a ministry is to go out as we normally do, is to do the fact check to say, hey, what has been said about confiscation is false. That's what we did based on what he told me. After that, I did not get involved. Like I said, it's an operational issue in terms of how GRTS moves their staff. But I did not say I haven't spoken to him. I called him to say, hey, what has happened? I'm hearing this. He said, yes, people are just misinforming the public. This is not what has happened. I said, what has happened? Okay. When he started to explain, the network wasn't good. I said, can you send this as an audio form so I can listen to it? Because I was traveling. I said that. He sent it to me. I listened to it. And he said, this is what has happened. In his exact words, that's what I was telling you, that according to what he told me, that they had a fundraising event in their village. And every year, they invite dignitaries who will support that fundraising event. That's what I'm telling you exactly what he told me in that audio.
Okay.
That he is heading the fundraising event this year. And then he invited Lord Mayor, and he also invited Honorable CDS Kenjai. He said that is what has happened. And he said that when it comes to the interrogation, he told me in that audio, he was not, I have the audio recording if in my phone. He said he was not interrogated by the SIS. I said, what about the passport? He said the passport was not confiscated. He said I was supposed to travel with the vice president to the population conference in New York, and my passport was taken to protocol for the visa process. That's what he told me. The audio is here.
Okay.
After that, I did not make a follow-up on this case again.
Okay.
That is why when he came yesterday to say something different, I was left flabbergasted. I don't know what to believe in anymore. Because if someone tells me...
He came to you yesterday?
No, when he came out yesterday.
When he came out yesterday.
To say that, in fact, this is... So, like, if you tell me one thing, someone I trusted to say, you are not... He, in fact, told me. How would I know that his passport was taken for protocol for visas? He told me.
If he had come to me, I would have given him advice. I would have said, do what I did.
Yes.
You remember the Sharia thing? I should apologize to Yaya Jammeh, Yaya Abdul Aziz Jamus Jonkun Jammeh. After he said
for this guy who said is correct, I said it here in fact before he made it. I said I called him, I was on transit. But the network was poor. I said, send me an audio recording what has happened. And he, in his exact words, said this to me.
Okay.
That the fundraising was in their village. To fund some projects in their village.
You have only 2 more minutes here.
Yeah,
let me take this. Somebody is saying, please ask Dr. Ceesay about vehicle number plates as well as ID cards. Production.
Okay, now for ID cards, I think I've already discussed that. There are challenges, obviously. These are supply chain. The consumables used to make these ID cards, we have to order them from abroad, and sometimes demand far outstrips the supply. There's a lot of people demanding for ID cards today, and because of that, there are challenges. But this will come to an end very soon because margins will start to work, and very soon every Gambia will get ID cards. Okay. Vehicle number plates, again, the concession had expired with the concessionaire that was doing the vehicle number plates. They've just launched another one, and very soon that'll be done, and very soon that also will be resolved as well.
Morning, Peter. Can you ask the minister who feeds the AI system with the facts? Example, if one makes a post about corruption in a particular ministry or by a public official, how is the system going to fact check this?
So the AI system, it doesn't know anybody. Doesn't know doctors, it doesn't know anybody. What it does, it scans Gambian news, local news, trusted news, and gives you its honest opinion. For example, it doesn't have to tell you exactly what. Let me give you it doesn't have to tell you exactly. If it doesn't find something, you know what it tells you?
I have a backlog of what's happening.
No, you know what it tells you sometimes?
What does it tell you?
If you ask them the AI question, it doesn't have to answer. It can tell you this text does not contain verifiable claims. Okay. So it can be honest to you to say that, look, I don't have enough verified information to answer this question. It tells you honestly. Okay. So if it's not verified, it's not verified.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr.
We're not saying the system is perfect. But that's, just to be clear, that it is still, people can give us feedback on the system to make it better. And I think the
it's work in progress.
It's work in progress. But at least we have something in place as a base to start verifying certain claims.
All right. ML from East Africa. Good afternoon, Mr. Gomez and Honorable Minister Ceesay. Is the Honorable Minister aware that the passport booklets are finished at the Gambian embassy in Spain and migrants are still at the embassy?
Well, I don't know. I know that it started yesterday. If it's finished within 24 hours, then the demand must have been very, very, very high. I'll find out from here. I've seen a picture circulating online this morning with long queues outside the embassy. So I don't know, but it's possible. I don't know. Like I said, I cannot confirm this.
Kudos to the Gambia government through the Ministry of Information for integrating a digital information verification system developed by Gambian Amran Gaye. GOTG, Government of the Gambia, should do more of this, integrating such Gambian expertise in our development efforts, especially Gambians in and from the diaspora.
Yes, I mean, that is what we want. Yeah. The Gambia government, under the leadership of His Excellency Adama Barrow, wants to make sure that the desire to transform this country is on course, and we are not distracted. All right. We know there are lots of things happening around.
It's 9:50. I'll make this the last one. Good morning, Uncle Peter. The Kiang West Road is the biggest scam project and poorest road built in the Gambia. They just leveled the road, poured the black liquid on the red surface, and put basalt on top without compacting it. What the contractor said, it will compact itself when vehicles start running through it. The road even started developing potholes. The government must have got lots of profits in the Kiang West Road.
I don't know who. Anyway, I won't comment to that. You can't comment to rubbish.
No comment at all?
No.
Well, listen, there are more messages to go through, but you have a 10 o'clock appointment.
Yes.
And I suppose they are already waiting for you over there. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you back here next week if you don't travel.
No, I'm not.
You're not supposed to be traveling.
We are grounded.
You're grounded.
Right.
Jar Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jar Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jar Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jar Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jar Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jar Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jar Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
sant yàlla
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Africa is rising and business knows no borders. With Bloombank and PAPS, buying and selling across Africa is now effortless. Fast, secure, direct from your Bloombank account. One Africa, one connection, one heartbeat of opportunity, powered by Bloombank Africa. Bloombank Africa, in partnership with PAPS, connecting Africa, empowering you. Bloombank Africa. We make it happen.